yeah, ooh, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
The world has just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect? The best intentions. Some of the worst things imaginable are being done with the best intentions.
Dr. Malcolm, here to share a few campfire stories with my uncle.
You can convince the Washington Post and the Skeptical Inquirer of whatever you want. But I was there, I know what happened, and so do you.
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should.
Hello and welcome to the February issue of Jurassic Minutes, where we discuss recent movie, toy and franchise news for the Jurassic series. I'm Brad.
I'm Dave.
And we're back for take two. We had a major issue audio-wise last week. And since now we're going to be releasing this 2 weeks after Toyfair, it's not going to be much of a news show, but we're going to sort of discuss some of the news that come out there from Toyfair and a couple other things as well. The Jurassic World 3 has started filming, and we have an official title, which we'll be discussing later. And there may be an early plot leak as well with some spoilers, but we're going to put that right at the end of the show. So more on that when we get there. And we might have a little bit of news regarding some new information on Michael Crichton's The Lost World. That too, something to look forward to later on in the show. David, ready to get in some news?
Oh yeah.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
All right, Toyfair last week. For some reason, Jurassic Outpost has taken down their 2 sites or 2 pages for Camp Cretaceous and the corresponding toy line. Luckily, Collect Jurassic still has their photos up, so it was revealed that I think Camp Cretaceous is coming out August this year, and there was a bit of synopsis there as well of what's happening. We all know what the story is with it, how it's coming along. Some of the new figures, we got a repainted Ceratosaurus, a new Stegosaurus, a new metallic coloured Parasaurolophus, and a few raptors in there as well.
Yeah, it's and of course, which we've talked about before, my personal favorite, the Epic Roaring T-Rex, which looks like it's sort of been from the ILM files, but interestingly enough, it looks like they kind of, I don't know, maybe retooled it a bit, make the features a bit softer, the eyes a bit bigger. The feet definitely look like they've been made smaller. But in all, I mean, this $40 figure, it looks like it's going to be the T-Rex figure of the Camp Cretaceous toy line.
Yeah, $40.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty par of the course for some of the other figures of the size range.
Yep.
And then we got a Carnotaurus in here that has some facial scarring. I guess Toro, which is going to be its nickname. I guess some of these dinosaurs are going to be given nicknames by the main human cast. We got Toro here. Looks like it's, interestingly enough, got the Bone Crusher Carnotaurus paint scheme from the Lost World toy line from Kenner. And then, as you mentioned, the Parasaurolophus in here with the metallic look, I guess, is going to be glow in the dark. It's going to be bioluminescent.
Yes, what has Wu been cooking up in that lab?
Apparently glow in the dark dinosaurs.
I can only think of the scenes in the Jurassic World Indominus Escape now.
Yeah.
They had the raptor glowing behind the ferns. Yeah, some of the we've got some baby animals here too, which some of them are sort of more of a chibi look, more babyfied. The ankylosaur I called Bumpy. We're getting a couple of baryonyx, as you said. There's a trio of them. They're all going to have separate names as well as main dinosaur antagonists for the kids as they venture across the island after the evacuation.
And of course, Ceratosaurus, which is again reminiscent of the Jurassic Park 3 colors.
Yeah, I do like that red on it. I just yesterday I was in my local Kmart, which you do have them over there. I don't think they're the same sort of store though, but we got the Dino Rivals Carnotaurus in, and I have not seen a Carnotaurus at all in the wild, and I think I'm going to pick that one up.
Yeah, I was
As much as
surprised
prefer
when you said you got that in, because I mean we've only had that in our stores for a few weeks now. I mean that's barely just come out.
Yeah, well, I can't remember the name of it, but the ankylosaurid with the long spikes on the side of it, that was there as well, and I only just seen that for the first time here with some of these Toyfair photos. So.
Yeah. I think it's called Sauropelta.
That's the one. Yep. And I do prefer the paint on this Carnotaurus here on Toro, but just to get my hands on a Carnotaurus, I think I'll be jumping on these ones. The Dino Rivals ones.
Yeah. I mean, they're not bad figures either. We've discussed them as upcoming figures before on the podcast, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like Toro here. I might pick him up to accompany my Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom line Carnotaurus.
Yep.
And then, of course, we've got the Raptors, as you've mentioned, Bumpy, the baby Ankylosaurus, and Blue is another figure in here, so she'll probably be appearing on the show as well.
Yeah, it's just interesting they do some of these repaints and get them into the cartoon series.
I figured out how the animals survive without lysine.
I don't care.
And another reveal from Toy Fair that we have not yet discussed that is on this table here, because it kind of had a table full of items, including and I just remembered a resculpted Dilophosaurus, which is a completely new color scheme and new head sculpt, and it looks like the mouth is, no, the whole figure actually is posable.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm excited to see. Excited to get.
But the
I don't have too many of them.
On the table here that we have not yet discussed is they've come out with a super colossal Indominus Rex.
And we've talked behind the scenes too, since now we've got the Indominus, whether they might do a Spinosaur as well. But I don't have any of the post Hasbro Indominus Rex figures at the moment. I think I'll be grabbing this one.
I have the in-scale figure, the non-super colossal figure that Mattel came out with. It's huge in her own right. I mean, she basically could easily take up her own shelf by herself. This one I don't think I'm going to get, just because, like I said, I have a giant Indominus Rex already.
Yep.
And I really just have no place to put this one. I mean, I want it. Don't get me wrong. I want it. But I just really don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, well, again, it comes down to distribution. I just haven't seen an Indominus Rex on the shelf. we had word from some local stores here that it was coming over with the Brachiosaurus at Christmas. I never seen it. I never seen anyone post photos that they got it, so I don't know what happened to that them coming over here. So if it turns up, I've got nowhere to put it. Rexy's sitting here on the ground beside me with nowhere to go. So yeah. One other thing here that's in some of these photos too is a backpack. I don't know if this is people size or toy size or what. It's sort of in the photos here, but it's clearly got an InGen logo on it. That's the first time I've seen this backpack. I don't know what.
Yeah, I think that's maybe you should send me that picture. I don't think I've seen that either. I think that's people sized.
It looks like there's clothes beside it.
Yeah, I think that's a child's backpack.
Yeah. Which is interesting to bring out if there's going to be a clothing line with it as well, or something to match. If they're if the kids are at some sort of camp organised by the Jurassic World staff, then it's every right to assume they're going to have the InGen logo and stuff like that on them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, top left-hand corner, there's kids' clothes there as well. Looks like toiletries and that, so yeah. And there's clothes down the bottom. Yeah, so that's the Camp Cretaceous stuff.
A couple other things, though. We also got a Scutosaurus. Looks like it's coming in here. And a... what was it called? Not the Sinoceratops. The other one that was supposed... Pachyrhinosaurus. Looks like. It's been retooled from the Sinoceratops mold, but it's bumpier. Got more ornate frill here. Big giant horn on the nose.
There's going to be plenty of dinosaurs coming to collect.
And almost forgot my favorite here, Majungasaurus.
Well, yeah, that moves into some of the. I'm pretty sure these ones aren't going to be in the cartoon, but some of the other Mattel reveals.
Yeah, we've these are, I think, the continuation of the Primal Attack line.
That I really like the color on that Majungasaurus.
I do too. And plus the sculpt is just so unique. I mean, it's bumpy. If you've seen Ant-Man, and Ant-Man's daughter goes, Ant-Man, played by Paul Rudd, gives his daughter in the movie some kind of bunny doll, and it's just hideous. And the little girl's like, "It's so ugly, I love it." That's how I am with this thing. It's so ugly, I love it.
It looks like the jaw's longer than its snout.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of an overbite, whatever that is. There's another Baryonyx here, more of a blue colour, with the crocodilian animal as well, that I keep forgetting the name of.
And we also got a Seats Microrum, which is a early Neovenatourid, Allosaurid kind of dinosaur from the, Jurassic, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look that one up. But all I know is that I know the Field Museum actually has the holotype to it. They have the the original specimen that was found of it. So that one, and I actually really, really like the sculpt to it. It looks really good.
Yep.
Another one that we got was Alioramus, an early Tyrannosaurid from Asia. It's got the big ornate nasal ridge there, which, of course, in the true Jurassic fashion was created even bigger and more ornate.
I just found some photos of that backpack. I'm trying to figure out what's in the rim on the logo around the InGen logo, but I can't. I can't zoom in that far. Also, there's the yellow jumper here too that's got the old school Jurassic Park logo on the front, at least a circle.
And as we'll discuss later, we've got some interesting old school looks coming back.
Yep. As for figures, though, from the Mattel, it's a Nebula facility, InGen Parks and Recreation Operation Department. Interesting, they got that Parks and Rec name in there after Chris Pratt was on. Mm-hmm. That was Parks and Rec, wasn't it, that he was on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Anyway, back to figures. Any of the other... I suppose we've got repaints to the Stegosaurus, the Triceratops. Interesting, the Triceratops, the Pteranodon, and I can't see what that is because it's covered. It's grey with a red jaw. Those were at my store yesterday as well.
Oh, nice.
So I wonder, since the only one out of that 5 is the Majungasaurus that wasn't on shelves there, I wonder if it's very close to coming here as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Keep an eye on that for us.
Yeah, I will. Dave, anything else on the Mattel stuff you want to discuss?
No, not unless you do.
Don't do that again.
I'm sorry.
I lose you. It's just me and the damn tourists.
All right. One other thing that from Toyfair was Funko. Funko are doing some more pops with Grant, and we're getting another version of Ellie as well in a box set with the skeleton she clings from at the end of Jurassic Park. So a little bit there from Funko. Lego didn't have anything there, although there are Lego sets coming. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get them to display at the fair itself. Video here of that Dilophosaur, and it's got a button that makes the frill come out. That's good. That looks good. Chronicle had a booth there as well with their 1/12 stuff.
Yeah, looks like they've got some 1/12 stuff coming up, and honestly, I've heard that the price point is going to actually be lower than their 1/6 line, which we've discussed on the show before, but I think they're kind of cheap looking. What do you think?
Yeah, the clothing, again, these probably prototypes or not yet ready for sale, but some of the clothing doesn't look the best. I think Owen's probably looks the best just because there's more detail in his jacket, but Grant, he again is the plus side here is the animals, the blue and the raptor, the JP raptor, separate head sculpts, not just a recast of the same thing for the most part. The
only thing, what I don't like about it is it just looks like it's pretty kind of par the course for Jurassic toys these days, but at the same time, it looks so cheap. The head sculpts don't look right. The clothes look like they're kind of just doll clothes they just stuck on there. The joints are really noticeable. On the human figures at least, I expected more from a company in this price range. The dinosaurs, on the other hand, look fantastic. The blue looks fantastic. The Jurassic Park Raptor looks fantastic. I'll be buying both, honestly, if they keep looking this good, because on the 1/6 blue and Jurassic Park 1 Velociraptor figures, they swapped the Jurassic Park 1 Raptor figure with Blue's head, and then gave that the Jurassic Park 1 colors, and it just kind of looks derpy. I mean, if you've ever seen the Lindbergh model, it kind of has that Jurassic Park kind of look to it. You know? if you've seen the meme, if you know what I'm talking about with that, where they replace all the letters with the letter F, or all the consonants with the letter F.
I really hope these two Raptors sell well, because I'd love to see the Jurassic Park Raptor with the Lost World colours on it.
Oh yes.
Maybe just more of a pointed snout.
And the Jurassic Park male bust is finally coming out. I've heard I think sometime the first half of this year.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be really good.
So I'm looking forward to seeing in-hand pictures of that coming up.
Yeah. Yep. So that was Toy Fair. We're going to see a lot more of these figures out. As I was saying before, some of these figures are already out at my local store anyway, so we're going to see what comes out with that, and hopefully very soon we get some sort of trailer or first look at Camp Cretaceous, so we can sort of get a bit of a feel of what we're going to be getting there. Interesting there, they're still saying it takes place on the opposite side of the island, so I don't know what it's the opposite side to, unless it's up in the restricted zone.
That's what I kind of imagined that it would be. It's going to be the restricted zone.
Yeah, especially if you're going to have some of these creatures that we didn't necessarily see or seen different versions of in the films up to this point.
You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well...
Alright, moving on. Jurassic World 3 has begun filming in Vancouver Island in Canada. We haven't really seen much come out of it, or have we? We have seen shots in the forest, haven't we?
We've seen some of the shots that I guess a fan went out there and looked, and they were doing some kind of camera shot lining up thing with a drone. And I think it was called AKAJB84 on Twitter. Posted a bunch of these pictures, and it looks absolutely amazing. I'm really, really excited for this part.
Well, that's the thing. They've been flying the drone around. You've been posting some stuff up too, looking back on the Lost World, and just how much this is looking like sauna. Oh yeah, and yes, I did a kind of a little pet project late one night. I was looking at sauna. I was just looking at the various screenshots, production materials, the KP Skips thing. And I was just noticing how much Kauai used the rocky, mountainous background, and it's just like exclusively all Kauai shots have mountains in the background, and none of the redwood shots do. And it just kind of made me thought how the terrain in the novel of Isla Sorna had the volcanic ring from the eroded volcanic cone around the island with the thick jungle in the center. Sorry, I kind of got on a tangent there. Yeah. No, even to keep the tangent going a little bit more, even in the Jurassic Park 3 when we're at the start of that, either in the generalisation of the script where they had to get up over the rocky rim to access the plains beyond, even there it sort of still alluded to the fact that, yeah, we've got this rocky, this rim of mountain ranges around the outside of the island. That's the natural barrier to keep the animals on the island. Mm-hmm. But not to bury the lead, Jurassic World 3 officially titled Jurassic World Dominion. Mm-hmm.
Dominion, of course, meaning control, which we know you never had control. That was the illusion.
Yes. It's an interesting title. Going to take some time to get used to it. It's weird where all our abbreviations, I suppose JWD would be this one, where we'd normally just do FK for Fallen Kingdom.
Because this one's D.
Yeah,
this doesn't
really work. Yeah. We'll have to put JW at the start of it.
Yeah.
What this means for the film, I thought they would have had the dictionary meaning of Dominion here, but as you said, it's form of control. So we know Colin said it's going to go back to more of that sci-fi thriller.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not going to see so much Planet for the War of the Dinosaurs, but more like Black Rock, where it's just going to be isolated more. Although we will discuss how that might not be happening later on at the end of the show, but I don't mind it. A lot of people are saying they preferred New Era.
I think this is actually less cringy than New Era. I like it a lot better.
Yeah. My only issue is there's a lot of stuff at the moment, like sci-fi B movies and that on Amazon Prime, and it seems like every second one's called Alien Dominion or all these different Dominions, where it's just mainly just B movie alien invasion movies. So it'll be interesting. Of course, that news was broken with Colin tweeting a photo of the old clapperboard with Jurassic World Dominion written on it,
which has, as we mentioned earlier, a surprise. The original colors are back. That original T-Rex in that red circle. So, and even the title, it's the Jurassic Park font. Yeah, it's got the red in the center, the white with the red in the center instead of the silver, the Iraqi silver look they've been doing previously.
Yep. So yeah, the film's officially started filming. Hopefully we start to see some more stuff coming out of that. As I said earlier, fans have been up there scouting the air and have heard the drone flying around. So
It's our last chance at redemption.
Hopefully while they're up there, they're going to see Jake Johnson and Omar Sy, because they're returning for Jurassic World 3 as well. Omar Sy as Barry, I can sort of see with if Owen's sort of needing some help from his old army mates or something. I don't know about Larry, especially when we've already know that Franklin's back. So unless they're just going to be the comedic buddy up hackers doing something, as much as I'd love to see the character back, it's sort of Fallen Kingdom was where he should have been back. Into that bunker.
And then we're also going to already have Justin Smith back as Franklin, so that's going to be an interesting clash of characters, because you had Lowry, he was kind of more relaxed and kind of goofy-ish, whereas Franklin was really more uptight, kind of freaking out about everything,
Yeah, yep. And it's sort of one of those things now. We know we've got the original three back. We've got Chris Pratt and Bryce back. Maisie's back. These two here are back. Franklin and Zia are back. It's starting to get a bit bloated now. Yes, of course, The Lost World had 40 hunters there, but we didn't know their names. They didn't have any.
Yeah, they were
just fodder.
Raptor fodder.
Yeah. I'm sure we're going to have a Wheatley or something that's going to be fodder as well. Probably some corporation head or Wu is still in the wind. I think if they're going to kill Wu, now needs to be the time just to Easter egg for that novel. But
yeah, honestly, I do know that B.D. Wong has been on Twitter kind of making hints that he's not really able to talk about what's going to happen with the character, which I know has led to some fan speculation that he is going to die in this one.
Yeah, well, it's just there's a lot of people coming back here, and I know there's already been word on fan groups and that they're worried that someone or one of the original cast might die, but I don't think Universal has the cojones to kill Grant or Ellie or Ian.
Yeah, I could imagine that angering a lot more fans than if it was, say, Woo.
Yeah. So hopefully we start to see some more stuff coming out of that as well. I'm sure there's eager fans that are going to start breaking the law to try and get on the sets and all that sort of stuff. And while I don't condone it, I do appreciate it.
No comment.
Thank God for Site B.
Site B.
David, a week or so ago, we started getting some tweets from Adventure Collectibles on Twitter. It seems they had purchased recently a copy of the manuscript for The Lost World, Michael Crichton's The Lost World, and he made a bit of a discovery in there that, one, there was an alternate ending, and two, there was a character in there that was pretty much removed from the novel, apart from one little thing.
Yeah.
It appears that Henry Wu had a brother, and his brother was the caretaker of Isla Sorna, and the group come across him as they're trying to evacuate the island. Now, I've got some notes here. I do want to go back because just yesterday morning while I was getting some of this prepared, I found, with the help of Lorenzo in the Facebook group, the little expert here from the start of the novel where they're all sort of in Levine's apartment looking for where Site B was, and I'll just read this paragraph here. Alongside that was a blurred, curling snapshot of a bespectacled Chinese man in a white lab coat, standing in the jungle beside a wooden sign that read Site B. His coat was unbuttoned, and he was wearing a t-shirt with lettering on it. Little did we know from that was Wu's brother there on Sorna.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah, honestly, when I had read that passage previously, I had always thought it had been that was Wu, because, I mean, now that I think back of it, I can't actually remember if he did wear glasses in the first book, but yeah.
And that's, and not to be racist, but that's the only real Chinese person that we have in the series. Although, I don't even know if B.D. Wong's actually Chinese or if he's got a different heritage. But in the novel anyway, and considering his Elliot Wu, which I suppose Henry's not really a Chinese name as well, it might be, but I might stop doing it before I dig myself a hole.
I think they were Chinese American. And the thing is that, I mean, Wu had been hired by him right out of college, too. I remember there was a passage in the first book where Ham is like, don't waste your time going to post-grad. Nothing ever comes out of the universities. The business, he's saying, that the corporate world is where the discoveries come from, and that's basically the pitch he gave to Wu to get him on board.
Yeah, which could lead to some continuity issues because when the group come across him, Elliot Wu is sort of really old and frail and hasn't not long for the world. So unless they're fairly apart time-wise, brother-wise, it might nearly seem like his father or something, or grandfather.
It could potentially be. I mean, some people have kids later in life, you know.
Well, he could be up to some other stuff too. He's on the island trying to stop the spread of DX. He might there might be some issues there. He might have had
exposed to something, you know.
Yeah, chemicals or something that's made him more withered. That, and plus, we don't know even now. The only food we know on the islands is the old tin stuff in the general store. So he's probably pretty malnourished.
I'm sure, yeah. That'll lead you too.
Yep. But that's we're going to get to. We'll do a Jurassic Mysteries on that and dive a bit deeper. I want to really have a look at some of the documents Ian that find when they're going through the lab and seeing if there's any mention of an Wu in the subject heading or anything like that. Because there's a lot of they've been releasing some pages too of stuff being removed. One case is when Fawn's going to look for fuel and sees that some drums have been moved and there's footprints from the night before, and not knowing if that's someone from the boat or someone else. And of course that's Elliot there doing some things when there's no one around the worker village. So again, just like when Todd Marks come forward made himself known to the fandom with photos and that from behind the scenes. Now we got this sort of stuff coming, where we pretty much thought the novel was done and dusted. Everything we knew about the novel was out, and here's this manuscript with yet more new stuff.
Yeah. Well, this was, I believe, the unpublished first version. So it turns out even the Lost World, the novel, had its own version, unreleased version, just like the movie did.
Yep. And in the end, a lot of the stuff discussed with in Wu's where he's living on the island, a lot of that stuff's dialogue that we later get in the finished or the published version between Sarah and Ian and Fawn, that as they're leaving the island, why they're dying out, all that sort of stuff with DX and the animal proteins and that. So, but I thought that was exciting. Something we're gonna get back to.
Oh yeah, definitely very exciting. Adventure Collectables is also Rimo on the RPF and the replica prop form, and he recently did he recently identified a bunch of the items that is in Nick Van Owen's costume, and I asked for permission to use that information for Jurassicpedia, so I'll be putting together a costume guide from that information.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was getting a real Lost vibe from when they discover Elliot. They come out of those underground tunnels, escaping the raptors from the up a ladder into a room. There's real polished mahogany, and like someone's been living there a while and looked after the joint. So
I bet you Eric's in there, don't you think? I'd bet my bottom dollar.
We do have a possible leak for the synopsis of Jurassic World 3 Dominion. I need to cut the free from that. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, and this might not be true, we had the same thing published a little bit before Fallen Kingdom come out, where we learned about the ships taking animals off the island. So grain of salt here, but if you do not want to hear spoilers, I suggest turning off now. We're not going to discuss anything else for the end of the show, so thank you for listening, and we'll be back next month with some more news and hopefully to start a Jurassic World Minute. But David, this plot synopsis, very interesting. What's
that? Yeah, it is, and honestly, from what we have seen from the from some of the set picture leaks we have seen thus far, I wouldn't be surprised if half of this is true.
Yeah, and just to mention what it is, when young, again spoilers, turn off, when young Maisie was abducted by dino poachers, Owen and Claire set out to find and rescue her, with their journey taking them to a dinosaur habitat operated by a global corporation with a possible sinister agenda. And that's even now being investigated by by Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. Not doctors there, which is interesting. And we speculated with Jurassic Park 3 when we were doing the minute there, what the paleontological world may look like post Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World, but some interesting stuff here. Maisie getting abducted, poachers, which is something we've really wanted to see in the franchise before, especially with Sauna.
Yeah, and to add to the synopsis, apparently, from what they've been filming right now, is that there's rumor that there's going to be that Owen's cabin will be finished, and we've seen what's Maisie's actor name? But anyway, we've seen Maisie. We've seen Maisie at a some kind of hotel that looks kind of westerny, in this kind of paramilitary gear. She's wearing she's wearing cuff jeans and some hiking boots, but then she's wearing looks like a M65 field jacket or something similar, and fingerless gloves and a black beanie. And it's kind of interesting because maybe she's out hunting with Owen or something like that, and that's when she gets captured.
I wonder if the I'd have to have a look. I don't think the Dinosaur Protection Group has updated anything since the Fallen Kingdom release. I wonder if they're sort of focusing on dino poachers and that now. But I don't know what the poachers would have to be poaching the dinosaur habitat.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I do think it's interesting that they would want Maisie maybe Wu wants her or something for extra experimentation on her or something. I don't know. The whole kind of plot at this stage with the description here does kind of sound kind of B-movie-ish, and I'm not really sure about it, but it's starting to grow on me. And the way that I'm seeing production bring it together, I think I'm going to grow more comfortable with it as the movie goes, as I see more. And that's kind of how I was with Jurassic World when the first, when the description first came out, and like, Dinosaur Park on Isla Nublar? Come on. I think I'm going to, and then I grew to become more comfortable with the plot. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, Maisie being abducted by dino poachers, it sounds like the age-old trope of someone's hunting a dinosaur and here's this girl, well, we'll take her as well. Or she gets captured in a net as well and taken away. I
mean, it sounds kind of Saturday morning cartoonish.
And of course, we've got to have some sort of global corporation here with a sinister agenda. Interesting that they mention that there is a dinosaur habitat operated by this global corporation. We know that the Arcadia wasn't fully unloaded. I reckon there'd still be 50% of the animals still on that boat, if not more, that didn't go up to the auction.
They were only halfway through the auction when the Indominus kind of and the Stigmolic kind of ruined their plans.
Yep. Yeah, and you're not fitting the contents of the Arcadia under that mansion. I don't care, even if the Tyrannosaur's under there, there's not that much space under there. But so that boat existed. I'm still holding on out hope that the Arcadia wasn't the only one, but that discussion's getting old now. The global corporation, is it time for Biosyn to come in? Did they swing in and purchase the Arcadia and everything on it?
I don't know. I mean, they were always a rival. They were always, and at least in the novel, they were they were the rival corporation. They were the Windows to Apple of the Jurassic Park genetics world.